Hey, everybody.
Remember they had do you ever remember on social media they used to have like I don't know if it was Instagram, I don't know what it was, but they had like this face, like a baby face filter. And there used to be this person, a lady that used to pretend to be a baby, and she was like, "Hey everybody," and so every time I say "Hey everybody," in my head is like, "Hey everybody," like a kid would say something wrong.
I did not remember that.
It was like a while ago, but yeah.
I'm trying to see if our thing will pull up for us. Oh, maybe because I got it on the wrong thing. Haha. I had it on the wrong layout, girl.
What
I
thing?
wonder if it switched over yet. Oh.
Mm.
Okay. It should
Hey,
be.
Tasha.
Yeah, you're back. All right. So, welcome everybody. Welcome you guys to tonight's episode. We're on episode 8. Whoop whoop to us. Welcome to the beat up, y'all.
So, if you're new here or if you're not, we have housekeeping rules. Um, 3 things we just like everybody to remember when interacting with us is the first thing is don't keep tonight to yourself. Tell a friend, tell a neighbor, tell a sister, tell whoever, tell who somebody who you know can benefit from conversing with us. We talk a lot about a lot of stuff. We laugh about a lot of stuff. I mean, we're a vibe. And tell them about us. Bring them here. 2, we would like you to interact with us as well. Um, just comment in the comment section and we talk back. And 3, grab your favorite snack or drink and let's start the show. What you drinking, Julia? I
The
already know.
same thing I drink all of the ice water.
I got some water too today.
You got some water?
Yeah.
Some ice water. Now, just like Maria said, we don't want you guys to keep tonight to yourself, but we also are in the beginning stages. Like, this is our alpha stage of starting this show. And with our alpha stage, we want to make it known who our target audience is. What does Meetup crew member look like? What do we look for in our friends? And so this is basically what we're looking for. This is what so if you know anybody that fits any one of these description, we need you to tag them into the comments below, and just let them know, like, hey, you need to tune in. We need y'all to be our hype crew for us, because we are definitely building a community in this beginning stages of the show. And so basically, I'm gonna try to run through it really fast. So basically, if you know of a woman that's 25 to 40, woman or male 25 to 40, mom, married, single, a boss, an entrepreneur, and anybody that's in leadership or desiring to be in leadership one day, anybody that's in need of a tribe, listen, tell them to come on. It's a whole tribe here. We a whole
A
tribe
whole
here.
tribe and a whole vibe.
Right. Right. Anybody that's looking for a safe space, if whether you're an introvert or extrovert, listen, whether you want to communicate with us in the comments or you just want to watch us, because people just watch us as well. Anybody that's looking for an opportunity to connect, listen, we always want to connect to you, and as well as I said, male or female. So if you are a man or identify any one of these characteristics, or you just want to hear us talk, or you just want to tune in, like, and just watch, look back, come on in, tag them in. You are welcome as well.
Check. So when we check in, we go by the quote, check in on your strong friends. So we're checking in on you. If you have something you want to get off your chest, or just something you like to say that's been grinding your gears this week, this month, this year, you can say that. Tell us in the comment section. Um, as far as my check-in, um, I don't know. I right now it's not something that's like really like every day constantly bugging me. But I know something to come up soon as Julia starts talking. Like, oh yeah. Um, but yeah, I'm still just getting used to the working from home. I'm like 1 month in now. Um,
Whoop, whoop.
and even though I'm working from home, my life still consists of driving back and forth across town all day. Like over here, dropping this one off, picking this one up, driving, and it's tiring. I'm really like I want to get to the point, like I want to get in the flow and the groove, with my job and everything that I got going on, where I could hire like somebody to take some stuff off my plate, like
Come
cleaning
on.
my house, like
Listen,
cleaning, not my house, cleaning my apartment or whatever, so
it's
that
your house.
okay, cleaning my house. Okay, yeah, you right. Okay, cleaning my house, and because it's like I got 10. I already had 10 jobs. I got 10 more now. Like I'm working while I'm working. Oh, my job ain't looking at. While I'm working, I'm like doing house stuff, and it's just sometimes it's daunting and overwhelming. But like I'm mom tasking every day, all day. I guess that's what I signed up for. But I don't really have too much outside of that, and the worldly things that grind my gears that happen every day that you be like, are you freaking kidding me? That you read on the shade room and all that. But that's neither here nor there. What you got going on?
Yeah, I guess I have a lot this week. Just because the past 2 weeks have been really like major weeks for me. So I do want to apologize first and foremost because we missed 2 weeks. And the reason why we missed 2 weeks was because of me. So I apologize. It was just a lot going on my side of things. But out of the 2 weeks, I had two things that I wanted to share with y'all that we could talk about. So the first thing is okay, long distance relationships are extremely hard. I'm learning that. Um, and so it's so crazy because this is like my second long distance relationship. And they were like both back to back, but like it's really hard. Not that I don't want it because I do enjoy it. I do appreciate my spouse. But it's just like it's not for the faint of heart. Have you ever been in a long distance relationship before?
Me, in
Yeah,
college,
in college.
yeah.
You didn't like it. Y'all let
No,
me
I
know.
was home often, but I know I didn't like it. It's not for me.
Right. It's really it's really hard. It is. So it's just like kind of being able to adjust to that and not being able to always be like available when stuff happened, or just learning like a person or wanting to spend time with a person. Like it really takes a really strong person. I do understand where I'm at in this season, and to be honest, like I have dated where I'm at in Memphis. However, not that, because everybody's not the same, so I'm not going to categorize people, but I just didn't find anything that I really like. And then the other part is that I don't necessarily think that me, if I start a relationship now, would I do want to maybe like within the next 2 years to move somewhere else with the girls just so that they have another experience. I do want to still keep my land here and build businesses here. Like I want to have dual residency, but at the same time, you know, starting a relationship here and then when I already have a plan to move is not like, I don't think that's a good plan either. So I'm just trying to navigate through that, but yeah, it's hard. So I was watching, my hit, my secret treasure is watching Kendra G singles live. And I was watching it yesterday, just unwinding. And that was something that they were talking about. I don't know if it was yesterday's episode or another episode, but when she was just saying how at some point somebody has to make a decision, like who's going to move, and stuff like that. I honestly, I felt it in my spirit, like, yo, that's so true. Like, that's me right now. Like, I want to
Would
be
you,
where he is.
moving? Would you like would like what would when would what would be the determining factor to decide like when and if you're moving to
Okay.
wherever? You know what I mean? Like, do you have to be
Yeah.
married? You have had to be together for a certain amount of time. Do you even want to be married? Like, because
Yeah.
everybody doesn't want to get married.
Yeah, I actually do want to be married. But we actually had that conversation. So I talked to him and he was saying like, he thought like because we already decided that I would be the one to move because that's kind of already been something that I wanted. Um, but like he thought like I would be willing to move and I'm not married. And I was like, no, like I'm not making a move like I'm not making a move like that for not concrete
Right.
commitment. Like no, like I'm literally leaving my house, um bringing my children along, not to go live with a boyfriend. Mind you, I will be honest, I've never lived with a man before. Like, I never lived with a boyfriend when I was saved or unsaved. Like, I just never had that experience. People stayed with me at times, but it was never like somebody moved in with me or I moved in with somebody. So it would literally be my first time.
Mhm.
Um, but at the same time, like I'm not willing to make a move like that unless it's definitely like a ring on my finger because I need that type of commitment and not like engaged. Like no, like if I'm making a hard decision like that and making a serious move like that, it would
Yeah.
need to be marriage. It'll need to be within a marriage. So yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Then the other part is so that was one thing,
Mhm.
right? So that's one thing going on. And then the other thing is like I'm literally in a season where like it's like a faith season, like if that makes sense. Like I'm literally stepping out in faith in this season and like managing and I'm learning to like for those who don't know, like I'm a spiritual person and but I'm learning to like really like ask God, like, and wait on God in this season. And so like which is hard because I'm a doer. Like so I'm normally like the person that I'll do if I'm saying I'm gonna do something, 9 times out of 10, Julia gonna do it, right? So it's like and I'm always putting my hands to it and I'm always touching it. And now I'm finding myself being in situations where like I really have to activate my faith more than versus me trying to work through it and navigate through what these things look like. And so that's kind of hard for me in this season because I'm literally trying to like navigate. But it was so funny because the other day I was driving. It's gonna sound real crazy. I'm about to get real deep with y'all, and I apologize in advance, but I ain't gonna take too long, right? So I was driving and when I was driving, I was just randomly looking. I was at a light and I was looking at the birds, and they were like sitting on a wire or something like that, a power line or something. And so while I was looking at it, I started thinking about the scripture in Matthew where it basically tells us like if God take care of the birds, what would he do for his own? And then I started thinking about it like, okay, so what does that really mean? Like I've said it before, I've prayed over it over people before, but it never like resonated in my own spirit, right? And so I started thinking about it like, okay, so what does the birds really need to survive, right? So I looked it up and the birds literally just need food, water, and shelters to survive. And so I was thinking like, I mean, that's pretty much like us too. But at the
Mhm.
same time, when you think about where all of that is, God literally provided all of that for everybody surrounding us, right? Like surrounding them, like they literally have trees, they can get water from rain or puddles and food from plants and stuff. So I was just like, I believe in this season, like God does that for us too. Like, he provide, like he created everything, if that's what you believe, that's what I believe, right? So it's like, you know, anything that I want to do, or anything that I have a desire to do, anything that I want to pursue, like he literally provides it all, right? And so just learning to be comfortable where I'm at right now, because I'm constantly trying to like climb out of it. And it's just like, no, like just embrace this season, because you have literally have everything that you need, even if it's not where you feel like you want to be right now, if that makes sense. So just trying to like navigate through that. If that did that make sense?
It makes sense, but I have a question.
Okay.
Because okay, so what is like because okay, okay. So when you say, you gotta start like practicing your faith and like let God kind of like sort of do his thing, but at the same time, like you can have faith but you still put in the work, because faith
Right.
without work is dead. God helps those who help themselves. So
Right.
why is it not a bad thing, but why you can't put your hand in it? It's not like um because what's meant for us will be. You know what I
Right.
mean? So it's not like you can't wave your wand and make whatever happen for you happen, but you do have to put in the work. So I don't
Right.
totally understand what you mean. Like you gotta let you're a doer. You're supposed to be doing.
Yeah. So mostly, okay. So what I mean by that, because yeah, like faith, that's true. Faith without works is dead. That's scriptural. But what I mean by that is like typically what I'll do is I'll get something and I'll run with it. And then when the stuff start to come down, that's when I'll be like, okay, God, help me out of this. Like, so like in this season, like actually bringing him along every step
Okay.
of the way, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's kind of what I mean by it. Like not trying to like take over it and then I'm crying out, like literally trusting him, like, what do you want me to do in this season? How does this look like? And being comfortable asking for stuff, like being comfortable with what I asked for. I think, I reached out to you yesterday, like, what do we want for this show? Like, let's write it down so we can see it manifest, and stuff like that. But just really like trusting that whatever I ask for, I'm going to receive it regardless. Of course, I'm going to put work in, and he's going to guide me in that, but just knowing like that I'm not doing it by myself, if that
Or
makes sense.
letting
Like,
letting letting God guide you to the work that you're supposed to
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
do.
that was
Okay.
a good question. Yeah. But yeah, so that's my check-in. If you guys have a check-in, listen, we would love to hear from you guys in the comments. Let us know what you've been going on, what's been going on in y'all lives. Because listen, we haven't met up in like 2 weeks, y'all. So listen, we want to know what's really going on. I was about to be like, they got Mean Girls on Netflix. That's like one of my favorite movies. I was about to be like the mom on Mean Girls. Like, yeah, ladies, what's the 411? Let us know. But yeah, put it in the comments below. All right. And so now we're really, like I said, we're in alpha stage. So we're literally going through our show when we're like filling stuff out. And MOMish is definitely a segment that we want to do more often. If you already know, MOMish actually comes from Rhea. That's her organization, that's her brand, MOMish. And so we did want to bring in the topics like we are parents and we want to talk about, and we said this is a safe space for us to just talk about stuff that we're dealing with, especially when it pertains to our kids. Because listen, without our kids, we would not be parents. So, so today's topic is: Are you a safe space for your child? Whew.
That's tough.
So me take a breath.
I was just telling like my sister the other day, like this. I feel like this age is so. My oldest daughter is 10. Like I feel like this age is like hard, but it's gonna get harder. But I don't feel like it's supposed to be this hard. Like at this time, the kids are exposed to like so much stuff. But with that being said, I think as hard as I am on my daughter, I am a safe space for her. Um, Sometimes with a little bit of prying, like because your kids are most of you can tell at least at minimum when something is wrong with them or whatever, something's bothering them. Sometimes my daughter's like open and she'll be like, yeah, blah blah blah, you know, this, that, and the third is going on with me. And then sometimes it's like nothing, nothing, nothing. It's nothing wrong. It's
Right.
not. But I don't ever want my child to be like, uh, feel like they don't like that feeling where I guess I'm scared of is a child that's like emotionally disconnected from their own feelings, or a child that's really emotionally connected and they're going through something that they feel like they don't want to be here anymore. Like I don't ever want to be in a situation like that with my child. So I would say like I guess sometimes too, like half and half that I am a safe space for my child, where she feels like she could talk to me. She definitely talking to me about the gossip and the drama stuff. She's definitely talking about that stuff to me, and she's 10 and she's already talking about like boys and stuff like that. And she talks to me about that stuff and what it means at her 10-year old, age or whatever. Um, but yeah, I would say so for me. What about you?
For me, okay, so my youngest is 7. I think with my 7-year-old, yes, because my 7-year-old, she literally tells me everything, like, and she's glued to me. She tells me everything. With my oldest, though, I really question it, like, because I want her to be comfortable. I want her to come to me. I always have to kind of like find stuff out from her. Um, and I want her to be like not afraid to not be honest with me, but like now she's still like afraid to be honest, so she'll lie. I have to catch her in her lie, then I'm getting upset. Like this be our conversations over and over again.
Right.
Excuse me. And I'm trying to learn to like not be on 10 all the time. Because it's like by that time, like you're starting to lie, you're not being honest. I'm trying to just get the truth. I'm just trying to have a conversation with you, but you're not being like, So I'm trying to find a balance. But we probably need a mediator to try to help us out. I don't know, but I
Yeah.
do, I do want to be a safe space for her. I honestly do. I definitely do, especially in this environment, like in this climate that we live in. Like, it's so much stuff that they get from the outside world that I just want them to feel, comfortable coming home, no matter what the topic is, no matter if you think I'm going to get upset. Like, just tell me, let's deal with it, And like now, like the past couple conversations that we had, I had to kind of let her know, like, on the front end of it, close the door. Okay, close the door. My youngest. But I had to let her know that, like, okay, hold on before we start. This is not a conversation when you're in trouble. Like, you're not in
Right.
trouble.
Right.
Like, you're not in trouble. I'm just acting. And it was something as simple. It was just literally just yesterday, y'all. Like, it was something as simple as my Google account got basically locked because it said that I was too young. The birthday that was put in was too young. So I had to like verify it before I went and picked up from volleyball practice. So when I picked up, I was like, what were you trying to get off of Google that you had to put your birthday in or whatever? And she's like, I didn't do that. And I'm like, how would I know that? Like, like I wouldn't have just came out. She was like, yeah, you're right. And so when we driving in the car, I asked her again, and I'm like, well, no, how? Like, what were you, why did you have to put your birthday in? Like, what were you trying to download something or whatever? She was like, I didn't do that. And I was like, hold on. Like, because I saw the mommy and me about to get upset because there's no way it wouldn't have happened without it. And so I had to tell her, like, no, like, listen, like, you're not in trouble. This is not a conversation where you're going to get in trouble for. I just want to know, like, And let me tell you, before you tell me something, this is what happened. Like, I literally had to unlock my account. I had to do this because the birthday was put in. You already told me that you put a birthday in, which wasn't the right birthday. You know, your Google is connected to my Google. Like, whether you thought so or not, it is connected. You can't have a Google. Too young to have a Google or whatever. And so then she was like, well, I did do it, but I didn't do it today. I did it like yesterday. So then I was like, okay, I'm not going to just call her a liar or nothing, because it probably does take 24 hours or something. You know, sometimes it takes a while for stuff to happen. I don't know. But at the same time, I was just like trying to like navigate through that, because it's like, if we could get through this conversation, then we could get through some of the hard stuff that I've been dealing with and I've been on 10 about. But I do, like, she's 12. So like, she turns 13 in October. So like, teenager is right, like knocking on the door. And these kids, baby, the conversation that I'll be singing, and these little boys that I have to be I'm already having to deal with these. So it's like, I'm trying to like telling her, like, you know, let's come to me. Let's have these conversations.
Like
Don't
your friends don't know nothing. You know, just
come
about
on. Y'all all trying to figure it out together.
right.
In YouTube University. Stop going to YouTube, don't know nothing. Shoot. But yeah. In the comments, who is this in the comments? Because she just have an initial. Tasha. Okay. Sasha, she said sometimes. Yeah. I think that probably goes for most parents. Like, sometimes.
Always like for your kids, depending on the topic. And if they feel like they're going to get in trouble, they ain't going. It's going to take some prying for you to be able to even like be there for them. Sometimes,
right? Just start here, baby. If there's any kids that's watching eventually, baby, start home. Start with your parents first. Yeah. Don't go out to the outside world, because y'all all trying to figure it out. And 9 times out of 10, we done been through it. Like, for real. Like, we not as dumb as y'all think we are.
Or out of the loop or
whatever. Right. Yeah. Like, a lot of this stuff happened over and over again. Our parents saw it. We seen it. Like,
everything you did has already been done.
Come on. She said mine too. Listen. If I get looked at like I'm dumb again, like, I'll be ready to fight, y'all. Listen. You gonna stop playing me like I don't know what's going on in this world. But definitely.
Like Amor denies everything. I'm like, Amor, I read your text messages.
Come on.
I seen it. And then I don't know, like, my kids, she don't like stuff that she does that she knows that I wouldn't like, or like she don't try to hide it. She don't try to hide it. It's just there. Like, and it's, to me, it's sort of like, so what? Like, I know you don't like it. I know you told me not to do this. I know you told me not to talk like that. I know, but I'm gonna do it anyway. And
come on,
I'm not gonna clean it up. And it just is what it is. And what? Like, that's what's going on. And what? Like, what you gonna do?
Girl, yes, that's how. See, I ain't the only one, because I'll be ready to fight, because that's what I be. That's the same energy I be getting. Like, why did you do this? I don't know. Didn't I just tell you yesterday? Don't do that. Yeah.
So,
like, I'm just saying.
What am I missing? Like, help me understand.
Listen. And then they be looking at me crazy when I start yelling and stuff. But it's like, why you always got, I be feeling like, what's his name from Baby Boy, the mama boyfriend? Like, every time these young boys try to, I would try to tell him, like, stop trying to test me, y'all. But
Mhm.
they be trying me. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're gonna keep trying.
Right. They gonna
I just don't
definitely.
get what I don't get is like the like it's times where of course we have all tried our parents. But I don't get the times where it's like, you know you fucked up. You know you messed up. Can you just like own up to it? Like I remember like doing stuff like I damn, got caught. All right, ma, all right. I did. Like just not sometimes, just not like, I know I wasn't supposed to do that and I'm sorry. Like
Right.
not
No.
no not I mean it's early for I guess me for not yeah, she's 10. I just
I don't get it. I don't,
parenting, like I don't know how it was for my mother, but I ain't gonna lie, it stressed me out. It stresses me out a lot, and maybe because like I be so. My husband says like I have to say something about everything. I don't let nothing go. So it's like always, and I'll be stressing
something.
myself out, and I'll be stressing everybody else in the house out. But I'm like, if I let you slide this time, you gonna start ice skating and shit. Like, no.
And that's true. That is so true though. Like, and I hate because like I naturally try to be calm first. So it's like the repeating of myself. And then when
Yes.
I come back like a day later or 2 days later and it's still there, like then I'm flipping out. So now everybody looking like,
She's crazy.
right. Like it's like, are you kidding me? Like there were levels to this. Like it
Right.
definitely
No, but I
it was a
literally
level.
just had this conversation not too long
Right.
ago.
Like it was definitely a level. Like I was calm when I first told, hey, make sure you do da 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 da. But now I'm coming back and you still ain't do nothing. Shaniqua said, I am a safe place for my kids because I didn't have that once my mom died when I was 17. Oh, that was good. So how did you like, I guess, how did you get there? Like, what were some of the things that you did to kind of make them feel comfortable coming to talk to you about, I guess, anything? But yeah, I'll be like, I'm trying to figure it out. I
Yeah.
definitely am. And
Yeah.
I do. Because I don't want them to be like, I want them to be like good adults, if that makes sense. Like, I want them to bring some value
But
to
you
this
know what
world.
I do know is that even though they try us, they don't get most of them. And I'm speaking for your kids. I haven't been around your kids, but I'm probably speaking
Mhm.
for your kids too. It's like when your kids go somewhere, they act like they got sense, and people don't
Right.
have anything but decent things to say about your kids, and you looking like my kid.
That's like
That
Autumn's
was just in
Autumn's
a joke.
grandma. She got surprised when Aubrey got principal's list. She was like, "Wait," she was like, "She got principal." I said, "Yeah." I said, "I think Bree know how to like. She know how to like not cross the line. Like like she know just the right stuff to do to not get herself in trouble while
Yeah,
she at school." But
yeah,
yeah, it is.
yeah.
I
That's
think
how
that
it
is
is,
true.
a lot of them, and just like in school, a more pushes the line, but yeah, she a habitual line stepper. Um, she'll try it, but Amore is more of a like she wants everybody to like her. So she's usually more of the teacher's pet. Like she want nice teachers so she could cozy up to them and they be her friend or whatever. But I'm like, you don't, just do the things that you do what you're supposed to do, and that's gonna happen like regardless. And that's with me too. Like just do what you're
Right.
supposed to do. I don't want
Come
to have
on.
to tell you the same thing 50, 11 times. Your teacher doesn't
Come
want to have
on.
to say the same thing, so many times. Do what you have to do, and you won't get yelled at. It won't be like, oh boy, here she comes.
Right. Definitely. So yeah, so comment below. Do you feel like you are a safe space for your children? Let us know. We'll still comment whether you're watching it now or you watching it on the replay. We'll still comment. for our next segment. Woo, woo.
I actually picked this crazy looking picture.
That's a cute picture. So okay, so I'll tell the premise of this one, and then we'll go into. I'm gonna segue you in, friend. Okay. All right.
Okay.
So the last time we met up, y'all, we actually was talking about our kids in the summertime, getting ready for the summertime. We were checking in with the you guys and let y'all know, like, just to see, like, hey, y'all all right? Like the kids out for the summer. What's going on? Have you lost your mind or whatever? And one of the topics that we brought up is like I think we called it summer stomachs or whatever, like our kids basically eating us out of our house and a home. We also talked about like cooking and different type of meals. And so we came up with this idea to kind of like help you guys out, listen, in the summertime while we dealing with our kids and their summer stomachs and them eating us up out of our house and a home. Listen, our refrigerators are empty, like, because I mean, when they get more food, they feel like there's more stuff that they can eat. I don't understand. Like, they don't know how to
eat everything in one day.
Right. Yes. And so so Rhea here, she got a quick meal for you guys to kind of help you guys out as we navigate in these streets with our kids being out for the summer. So I'll let you take over.
Okay, so I can cook, but cooking, like a lot of things, is like a vibe for me. I gotta be feeling it. So most of the days it's something really simple for me. I feel like a lot of times like they don't create no new foods. Like, you once you find your thing, like your things that you could cook, your family could likes, it kind of becomes the same thing all the time. But every couple of days, both of my sisters in the comments, Sasha and Shaniqua, I'm like, what's for dinner? Like asking them for tips or something quick or something. In the summertime, like a lot of us don't like to even turn the stove on because it makes it hotter in the house. So
right.
I don't know which one of them told me about this or if I Googled it, but I'm probably one of them told me about it. Just quick meals is like 3 or more different meals. I mean, this thing can turn into a meal at night if you wanted it to. But the roasters that you can get from ShopRite, Stop and Shop, whatever your local grocer is, because that's our Stop and Shop, ShopRite, wherever, for like $6-7, could turn into a lot of things. Of course, you could use your roaster and eat it as is, add your size or whatever. But my favorite thing to do with the roaster is to turn it into buffalo chicken sliders. So you have a $7 roaster. All you need is like some Hawaiian bread sliders. Y'all know Hawaiian bread be bussin'. Like that's what the kids say, right? Bussin'. bussin'. You have your roaster, your Hawaiian bread sliders. You get your whatever your favorite buffalo sauce is. You chop your roaster up into small pieces of chicken. Put it in a bowl like a chef. Whip it in a pot. I like to play with seasonings and stuff. So I add whatever seasonings you like to add to your roaster, your buffalo sauce, and then you don't have to take your sliders apart. You could just open the top, stuff your sliders with the chicken, and then put it back. And mozzarella cheese is good on that. Mozzarella cheese, and you put the other, you slice your Hawaiian bread in half, close it back, and then put it in the oven for like 5 minutes just so your bread could kind of toast. And voila, that's literally like, I want to say a 10-minute meal. Add your sides. My husband gets sick of me, but I'm good for what you call those, the little steamables. Here you go, your steamable corn.
The vegetables.
Yeah. Then it is served.
Voila.
Yeah. I mean, that meal don't cost more than $20. Another thing I do with the roaster is, of course, if you don't want to do buffalo chicken, you could do barbecue chicken. You could get some beans on the side. You got cookout food. 10 minutes. You can also make chicken salad. Remember your grandmother used to turn the turkey
with the stuff, yeah.
to turkey salad. I mean, nobody don't eat turkey salad. Turkey salad. Like, what did you like? Why would you do that? But it was good with some bread, some mayonnaise. But it's funny because you don't have turkey salad after.
No, you don't.
Yeah, you don't have turkey salad after no other time other than Thanksgiving. My sister said, pull it apart and put it over a salad, and then she said, give the leftovers to the dog.
Dog.
There you go. The whole family ate and the dog.
Right, everybody ate good.
Another thing, I know Sasha gave this one to me before, for sure. She made chicken tacos.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, so you just, of course, chop up your chicken and add the taco seasoning. So, I mean, you could buy a roaster and you could make it last a few days out of the week. Like my mother used to do spaghetti. That's why I don't do it anymore.
I was about to say, like, I do spaghetti now.
You have spaghetti on Monday, and then it's right. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. No. No.
I am in my house. I am a big pasta maker.
It's quick. Yeah, that's a few things that you could do with the chicken roaster. You ain't got to know how to cook for that. And it's quick and it's easy. You ain't got to turn the oven on. I mean, it's just doing what needs to be done for your kids with their summer stomachs.
Right.
I mean, of course, I make this when it's not a summer stomach situation because, like I said, I like quick meals, but that's one. A few, rather. Oh yeah. I love I don't make my sister said salmon scampi, cook the salmon, add noodles and scampi sauce and add spinach to be fancy. I make shrimp. I do mine with shrimp. I don't do it with salmon. I did do it with shrimp and salmon before because I was just like being extra. That must have been one of the cooking.
You were showing out.
Yeah, I was showing out that day. I think this comment is in reference to when we was going back to, the kids. And, yeah. Shaniqua said, telling things like, no matter what, I'm gonna always have your back. Yeah,
that's good.
Right, wrong, and different. Yeah, that's for sure. Like, I don't know. I had the type of parent where my father was not around. So my mother was always like, in the street, I always got your back. But at home, I'm going to tell you, what's right and what's wrong. I'm never going to like embarrass you out in the street and tell you, I got you type of thing. And that's important too. Like, don't be embarrassing your kids out in the streets. Or in front of the teacher when they do stuff wrong. Like my mother wasn't one of those parents that's gonna come to school and sit in the back of the class or like
my mom wasn't
or whoop you in front of the class.
Were you I don't know if you were in my class then. One of the kids we grown now, I guess, right? I don't know if you remember when I don't know if you went there then when you remember Ashley Gill?
Yes.
You remember when her dad came and she got in trouble about not doing her homework?
No, I wasn't in your class. Yes.
He wasn't.
Embarrassment is trauma.
Yeah. And but I remember because like I always remember because the day before her dad came and she got in trouble, he took her home and he took care of her and then brought her back afterwards. So we all knew what happened or whatever. The day before, Miss Russo, you remember Miss Russo? She had met with my mom and was telling my mom about my grades and what I'm not doing and all of that. And my mom was like, okay, yeah. And then she took me to Chuck E. Cheese. took me to Chuck E. Cheese at night. And so, back in the day with Chuck E. Cheese, they used to have to stamp your hand, and it'll take a while for like the stamp to come off.
Yeah.
So Miss Russo saw it and she got mad. So when
why are you getting mad? Because my mother didn't like
right. So when her dad brought her back to school, she was like talking to him like, yeah, thank you. We really needed that because and then she started talking about me like some parents,
That's when my mother would have came in there and she
it was so funny though. I ain't care. And my mother shit kid. I didn't even tell my mom about it. But it was just funny though. Like my mom, that's the kind of mom I had though. Like people, I remember Miss Spears. That's the only teacher I never really cared for growing up. Like in my whole like career of education, Miss Spears was the only teacher that I didn't really care for. And I remember one day she was like, yeah, is that your mom over there? Because she was picking up my little sister. And I'm like, yeah. But in my head, I'm like, it really don't matter what you tell her. Like, I'm not really about to get in trouble. Like, like I'm not about to get in trouble, but it's okay. Like, go talk to her. She gonna pretend, but she ain't about to do nothing.
You see, I used to get in trouble for my mouth, like talking back. That's what I used to get in trouble for. So my mother used to send me to school with like a little notebook, and my teachers had to sign and comment or whatever. But like about how my attitude was during school. But the thing that kept me from getting in trouble was that my grades was good. So it evened itself out. Your mouth too much, or your mouth is you do too much, but you got good grades. That's all I could really ask. Not all, but that's a lot. So
yeah,
whatever. Yeah,
and I was the opposite. I wasn't really like mathy enough. I just didn't do no work. Like I was not. My grades was not there at all.
Tasha said, but sometimes kids need to be humbled, so it's a very fine line. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I can understand that part too. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah, it's many kids that need to be humble. I don't know what type of. I don't want to blame the parents, but like I don't know what is the background for an unhumbled kid? You know what I mean? Like what type of parent, what type of upbringing is going on where your kid is like
the entitlement, I guess.
Or entitlement. Like, I mean, I feel like a lot of our kids probably have some forms of entitlement at times, because I think mine does, and yeah, you got to bring them down. But it's some kids that such the overcompensation. Yeah. It's some kids that walk around with a chip on their shoulder like all day, every day, like they stuff don't stink. Those are the ones.
But yeah, that's our quick meals. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I think you gave them like 5 different meals, right?
Yeah, out of a roaster. Yeah,
out of a roaster. Yeah. Listen, killing it. Yeah. Who hungry? Nobody.
Yeah. Nobody.
All right. Our next topic for tonight is budgeting. And so with our budgeting topic, basically, we actually have pillars with this show. And one of our pillars is finance. And so with the finance, I just wanted us to just kind of get the topic started. So I named this topic finesse. And basically it's like us being able to finesse our finances, especially in this time. Listen, gas prices are high. It's a lot going on. Food prices, like the food is ridiculous right now. And so with everything that's going on, we just want to make sure that we keep track of like how we're doing, especially us as a community, us as a tribe. We want to just know like, okay, do you have a budget? If you so, like we want to kind of, feed off of each other and see how we're doing. In the comments, she said, humble the kids, give them beans and girl, did I tell y'all that story about my daughter? So during the pandemic, y'all, My oldest daughter. So during the pandemic, one of my friends from church, she was like, "Hey, let's help each other out. Like, you take my kids for a couple of days, I take your kids for a couple of days. Like, we'll switch just to kind of give each other a break because it was a lot going on. Our kids being at home all day with us, everybody shut down. So I'm like, okay, cool, right? So my girls, her daughters came over. Then like the week later, or a week two later, my girls went over her house and she calls me like while the girls are over there. She go, Julia, and I'm like, what? She said, why you ain't tell me your kid's so picky with food? And I'm like, what you mean? Like, my kid's picky with food. She said, girl, I told your daughter that we was eating hot dogs, and she asked me what those hot dogs from Whole Foods, because she only eat hot dogs from Whole Foods. I was like, what? I was like, no, she gonna eat whatever hot dogs you got. Like, girl. So listen, that's a moment my child needs to humble.
Sasha
Sasha
said,
said,
oh, go ahead.
go ahead. You got it.
She said, I don't budget. I make sure bills are paid first, then fly by the seat of my pants for the rest. I mean, that sounds like me. LOL.
She said your daughter had a valid question, baby. Girl, I was so ashamed. I was like, are you kidding me? Are those from, why does it matter? Like, girl.
Where do you come from?
Right.
Those ain't Whole Food hot dogs. That is uncured. Mm-mm.
Right. Like, girl, that was too funny. But so with the changes in my situation, the reason why I thought about the question about budgeting is because that's something that I need to get back to. I don't want to say it's hard. It's just different now because how I'm basically an independent contractor. So I get paid based off of what contracts I actually close on now. And so, but it is definitely something that I'm going to get back to. I actually do like spreadsheets. And when I tell you, like, the spreadsheets really work for me. If y'all want me to send it to y'all, I can send it to y'all. But on my spreadsheets, like last year, I was actually I was actually working though, but working for an organization, but I was able to knock out like $10,000 in debt by just keeping track of my finances through my spreadsheet and stuff. I was able to pay stuff down and manage like my monthly expenses and stuff like that. Yeah, I sent it to you. Yeah, I sent it to you, but it really does help. Budgeting does help me out. So at one point, I would budget wrong, I feel like, because I'll budget stuff and then I'll be like, but my budget say I'm supposed to have this much left. Like, but I ain't never seen that much money. I ain't never come, like, when the money, I ain't never see it. Like, but according to my budget, I'm supposed to have this much left over every month. And so then when I started getting to a point where I literally, it's gonna sound like a lot, right? But it's only a lot initially, y'all. I'm just be honest with y'all. It's only a lot initially. But if y'all want me to help y'all, I help y'all because I actually enjoy it now doing stuff like this. But I literally had to like break down everything, like literally like where all my money is going, what time my bills are due, like it's literally like you'll see it in the spread, like it's literally a breakdown of like what bill goes with what pay stuff and all. Like I literally had to break all that stuff down to actually into even like the bills that I was paying late, because when you pay late you pay more. So like I literally was able to see like, okay, where my money was going. And the way that I did that was I balanced the budget with my actual like statements. So I was like going through the statements and marking stuff off to see like how much I'm spending and stuff like that. And that helped me out a whole lot, just to know, like, just to do the math. That's one of the things that I teach with our nonprofit that I have with my best friend. Like that's one of the things we teach about, like doing the math. I don't think us as a people, we do like the math a lot. But when I did it that way, it helped me to actually get on track. So that's something that I'm going to definitely get back to even now, because I don't want to go like, oh, I can't because I don't know what's coming in. Like, I still do have some steady stuff, money coming in. It's not as much as I'm used to, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to keep going the way I am, because it really works for me to keep my spreadsheet going, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's a lot
Um,
though.
yeah, was saying to you like, it was funny that you mentioned like, you know, okay, so we come up with our shows like the topics. Like sometimes we really have to brainstorm and think about what we want to talk, and sometimes it's just something that we going through and be like, let's talk about this because it could be beneficial to our audience. So when Julia, I mean, thought about this and I saw like our slides for the week or whatever. I was like, it's funny that you came up with this topic because I was just talking to Sasha like yesterday and my husband, like, here I am at my big age and I'm just like stressed out. Just, I don't know. I was watching your guy, the, what's his name? The Trap, um,
Oh, Wall Street Trapper.
Wall Street Trapper, and you know you see stuff on social media and you like, damn, like okay, I'm at my big age. I don't really have money for retirement. Not only that, I don't have money like saved for my kids, and it's like,
Mhm.
whew, it's like it started stressing me out just yesterday or 2 days ago or whatever, and it's just like I don't like. I for a long time I felt like I didn't have money like I don't make hundreds of thousands of dollars like a year. So it's just um, like I don't have enough money to save for retirement. I don't have like, oh, me saving $20, $25, $50 here for my kids, that ain't gonna do nothing and not doing nothing at all, which is really freaking ignorant. But now I'm at the point where I'm like, I gotta play catch up. Like, so how do I do that? And I feel like, you know, me monitoring and changing and creating, because I'm with Sasha, my bills after my bills is paid, creating a
Right.
budget where that allows for me to save something for us. And you know, we wasn't. A lot of us were not taught. I know I was not taught about budgeting, about financing, in no capacity, in any capacity. I didn't learn how to balance a checkbook. I mean, we don't really. I don't really balance a checkbook now, but I didn't
Right.
learn how to balance a checkbook until I went to college, and my college roommate taught me how to balance a checkbook. Like,
Mhm.
and then you know we are, it's a fact that we are behind the eight ball compared to a lot of other races, but it's just out of like we just really don't know. I was just saying to Julia again, like, you know, we look at them like, oh, they went to college, they didn't have, and they don't have any debt, lucky them. Their parents prepared for that. I mean, and we
Right.
could do the same thing too. And it's about the education, the knowledge of it. Like, you know, and a lot of races they get their money from um, people sad to say, but like people dying. And
Yep.
we see nowadays a lot of people in our community are doing GoFundmes. Like
Right.
life insurance is important, not only for that, but to leave your kids something.
Wealth.
Yes,
Right.
that's how Master P created wealth. He had like I believe it's a $10,000 life insurance policy, and he flipped it in whatever way he flipped it, but he flipped it.
Right.
Okay. Yeah,
Made some mixtapes.
right.
Yeah.
So like those things are important, and we're not like finance gurus to know, you know, in no way. But whatever information is, it's important to for us to share the information that has worked for us legally. Because y'all seen the lady giving money, tax, what is it, tax or whatever information out. I don't know if y'all saw that on social media. She
Uh-uh.
$3.3 million fraud scam, and it she was actually helping. They called her the Hood Robin Hood because she was telling people how to like get rid of things on their credit, but it was illegal.
Oh wow.
But she was scamming the state. She was scamming them. You know, she was scamming big business. She wasn't scamming her actual customers because when she was
Mm.
doing work, it just wasn't legal. So,
you taking money from Uncle Sam, then it's, clearly
Right.
you're
It's a
breaking the
problem.
law. It's a problem or whatever. So, but yeah, whatever we do legally to get rid of debt, to be start budgets, that's what it's about in this community, in our community. We should be sharing those tips and things to help each other, advance.
That's good. And I also think like how when you were saying like, oh, I gotta catch up. And I think like that kind of be like our mindset. Like we feel like, oh, we gotta try to like get it and then keep going. And it's really like
Mhm.
I think what works for them is that they do a little at a time. Like even when it comes to like the stock market and stuff like that. Granted, they have money and they could do it, but it starts off like it's really just a place of us just starting, right? So like even with
Right.
your daughter being 10 and you got 8 years until she go to college, like 8 years of saving is still a really good thing. Like, being
Yeah.
able to, being able to come to the table with something is better
Mhm.
than nothing, right? Or trying
Yeah.
to do it a year from now or a year, going into college or whatever that looks like. And so I do believe, and then you got to understand, like when you put it in the right account, the right accounts, it builds
Yeah.
interest,
Yeah.
and we can get to a point where we just start borrowing from our interest, which
Mhm.
is where we really want to be at. Like, so it's
Mhm.
like where it's not really even touching the principal. We just borrowing from our interest and we collecting and and all of that.
Mhm.
And so it's just for us to just start. Like I told you, like I do have an IRA. I don't put a lot into it right
Mhm.
now. I really can't afford to put a lot into it, but I just make sure no matter what's going on, like that automatically comes out, and it's not a lot of money that comes out of
Mhm.
it, but it's still something that's building. And it's going to over years. It's slow, it's slow. So over the years, it's going to build the interest that it needs to because it's in the right account. It's not just in like a bank account, which we know that don't
Mhm.
really build the interest that our bank accounts is. They don't really work for us. And so many is
No, they
just
don't.
they don't work for us. But yeah, but it's just us starting in like if anything else, we do got to get life insurance policies, and they're not really expensive. One of the things that I told Rhea that I want to do more of is really learning more about each policy. Because, like, if I sit down with an advisor, they got my information. They pretty much tell me what policy works best for me, but it's not like a breakdown of all the different policies that I can go with, if that makes sense. So
Mhm.
that's
Or
something that,
add-ons, the add-ons that you could get to your
right,
policy.
yeah. Yeah, and that's something that I want to do without, becoming an agent, or having to go that route,
Mhm.
but just really just sitting down and getting the knowledge. Of course, for our show and our platform, we're definitely going to bring an expert on as we process through this.
Mhm.
but but yeah, it's just something to kind of get us thinking about, talking about, thinking about budgets, especially with the changes and stuff. I think at the beginning of like the whole like gas prices increase and stuff like that, and I had put a post out and I was like, well, I'm not going to stress so much because I tell my money, I tell my tank how much I'm going to put into it a week. Like, and granted, it's still high. Like, sometimes I got to tell my tank we're not going nowhere. But at the end of the day, it's something that we can budget. Like we actually have more power and authority over it than what we think. But it takes us to just know what we're
Mhm.
dealing with. But I can understand it does bring stress. Like one of my students that I had with the organization that we had, like I sat down with her for hours and we was going through. She was so mad at me, like like she was just
Like,
like,
no, baby, you can't do that no more. Mhm.
right,
Cut
like
that out.
right. She
Mhm.
was so angry. Like she was just like she really like for real deal was frustrated with me. Like and just like stressed out. And she just looking like she couldn't stand me at that point. And it was just like,
Mhm.
I'm sorry. Like let's try to do, but down the line, like she'll call me and she'll be like, hey, I want to make this purchase. What you think? Like, so it's like it worked out, and I think that
Mhm.
that's hopeful. Like that's something that I want to get my girls used to as well, like with their bank accounts, and getting them to understand. Like, I didn't have that, I didn't have somebody to sit down with me. I want to do more of that, especially with them. Like, both of my girls are really like entrepreneurs at heart. So it's like, okay, you want to start this business. Like, my youngest, she's literally started a jewelry business, like, cause she want an iPhone, and like she really be out here making jewelry and earrings and stuff, like, and she be bringing the bag to camp, so she be selling. Her pitch was, she told me her pitch was, I don't want to go off the topic too much, but she told me her pitch was to one of the girls. They was in the pickup line, and she told the girl, like, "Is your ears pierced?" And she said, the little girl said, "Yeah." She said, "You got $1?" The girl said, "Yeah." She said, "You want to buy one of my earrings?" So it's like they literally have it in them, and so I just want to teach them what to do with it. Like, how do you manage that? Like, what are your type of stuff now? Because I was just like that. Like, when I tell you, I did not know how to pay bills, like, for real, like, and I literally would be intimidated by bill collectors, like, literally, like, crying on the phone. They probably was laughing at me because, like, I didn't know what to do. Like, I'll be crying, intimidated, like, "But I only got this." Like, why am I even talking to them about this? All they want to know is if you're gonna pay your bill. Like,
ma'am, do you have the money
right,
or not?
right. And they really like, and he probably was like, for real deal, laughing at me because he was scaring me, because it was just like, "No, you gotta pay this." Like, baby, you're not going to jail if you don't pay this, sweetheart.
Right,
Like,
pay me your money. Like,
right.
bye.
Like, you just have to balance. You just have to set up something with them. And that's one of the things that I had to learn. And so, yeah, I definitely think, but I do think, like, it's not really taught. It's not in the schools. There are more programs now that talk about financial literacy and stuff like that. Or you'll have, like, I think somebody that we went to school with, he has like a book for kids and stuff like that too on him. But yeah, but it is something that we just need to just keep talking about, especially in our community, in this tribe. That's something that we'll keep up with and help each other out with. So if you guys have any budget tips, anything that worked for you, any programs that you follow, put it in the comments below. Listen, we want to hear from you as well.
I don't know. My aunt does this thing where I don't know what it's called, but she does like envelopes and it's cash.
Oh
And
yeah,
basically, yeah, whatever your budget is, like you're not swiping no card. Whatever's in that, whatever
right.
a lot for bills, a lot for play, a lot for gas, whatever's in there, that's what it is, and you can't
Yep.
go.
Envelopes do work. It's called enveloping, and
Okay.
envelopes, it works. Like, when I first started out, the lady that taught me, she taught me with envelopes. And like, she literally gave me like white envelopes, and she wrote down that, and it literally, it to me, what I got out of it when I did envelopes, which was really good, like, I literally paid for everything. Like, everything had a place. And like, I didn't have to worry about trying to put $10 to get, because back then, gas and stuff, like, I wasn't trying to come up with $10 to put gas, because I already had the budgeted gas money. But the only thing you have to be disciplined in is like, once that's it. Like, so you can't be taking the grocery money and put it with the gas money. Nah, baby, like, you gotta stick to your envelopes. But it does, like, envelopes, and I think it's called Snowball. That's like with Dave Ramsey program.
Mhm.
Those things really help. Like, the snowballing is when you paying down stuff.
Mhm.
But like, the envelopes is like your day-to-day type stuff that you got to pay off, like the gas, the food, and all of that stuff, and you put it in there, and you always, when I tell y'all, like, y'all literally will always have money for those things, especially if you follow it. Like, you'll never have to worry about, "Oh man, I gotta get this," or you even have like a miscellaneous envelope, and you can work, like, it's really good. They really do. Yeah, I know she out here killing it, because envelopes really do work. They do.
My husband is like, "Well, like coaching me? What are you willing to sacrifice?" Bro, I don't want to sacrifice play. Like, I don't do much. Like, I'm not willing to sacrifice that. Some days I'll be like, "I'm ready to go, coach," and then some days I'm like, "Bro, I didn't work for 2 years. I did the minimum because it wasn't my money that I was playing with.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, So no, I want to, have some fun. And I don't do much. I don't, be balling out or nothing like that. Like,
Right.
and it's like one point I want to do that, and then the other side of me is like, we don't work to pay bills. We do, like, it's like life is meant to enjoy some too. Like, I don't want to be like, those 2 years were miserable. I didn't do nothing. I
Yeah.
just sat and looked at TV. Well, whatever.
And you can budget for that. Like that's one of the things that we were talking about with the girl. Like, okay, if you want to, if this is what you want to, like, okay, like with organizations, right? When they
Mhm,
having their events and stuff like that, they literally have a budget for it. Like, this is
mhm.
what our budget is. So we can
Right.
only afford this speaker. We can only afford this type of food, you know. So if, like, for us, and we're our own like CEOs and CFOs of our own lives, right? And so we just budget for what those things are that we want. So like we want to go to, you want to go to uh an island somewhere, right?
Mhm,
You figure out how much all the costs going to be, and then
mhm,
you just divide it up to how much you're willing to put in towards that to get you to the date. So you'll
mhm.
have the money set aside for it. Like
Yeah.
it's just like, so it's not like we can't do it. But I understand, especially hearing your husband saying, "What are you willing to sacrifice?" And you thinking about like, all I want is Netflix. You know, I want Hulu,
I
Netflix.
just want to
I
go have
want
a drink.
BT Plus. You know.
Yeah, right, exactly. Dang, all my subscriptions gotta go.
Right,
I gotta give her the Amazon Prime.
right.
Nah, he ain't
I
gonna
just
do that.
had Prime days, like
Shaniqua said we don't think about things like that because we just sometimes think about getting through the day of the week. That is
which
true
is
because a
true,
lot of us live paycheck to paycheck.
right?
We don't
And it's
even know, like, damn, I got just enough. So that's what it
right.
seems
And it's
like.
more like, it's so much more than paycheck to paycheck. Like what one of the things I was telling y'all, like even in this where I'm at now, and I'm literally in the ground floor of it, y'all. Like I promise you, it's not glamorous for me. Not yet. I'm not on no this is not Sunset, whatever, you know, the real estate shows and all that. Not
I love
not
that show, girl.
like
I
right,
love
I
it.
do too. But I
Me
ain't there, y'all. I'm not there. But yeah, like one of the things I was telling y'all some shows back, like, you know how you go from that mindset of like paycheck to paycheck to like, I don't want to go from like paycheck to paycheck to like going from house to house, you know, or transaction to transaction. Like I want to be able to do it. And it does help. It helps when you get to a place where, you know, you almost forget you got paid. Now, granted, your bills ain't gonna forget that you got paid, but like you almost forget about it because of the fact that you have stuff so much aligned that it just works for you, like, you know. And
Mhm.
so it's just a changing of the mindset of like just trying to get through, you know. Like
Life.
one of the things
Yeah.
I regret, like even though I am thankful, I know the process and what works, and being able to pay down like that much type of debt, like I wish I would have stored it up now. Like, you
Mhm.
know, I wish I would have had that in my savings versus, because my bill's gonna get paid regardless. Like, you know, I wish I would have had that in my savings versus trying to just like, you know, pay that up. But that's something that I would do differently this time
Mhm.
around, type thing. But yeah. She said, I mean, think about things like that. Sorry, y'all. Typing fast. My son driving. Yeah, it is true though. It's really like a mindset coming out of a
Mhm.
mindset that we're used to. You know, being used to, like, I don't know if y'all had to deal with it, but like coming out of like, if the bill collector call, like I'm not home, or you know, like coming out of those mindsets to learn like,
Yeah.
no, we ain't got to do that. Like, you know, or, you know, we can know where our money is going. It might be a little frustrating at first because it, you know, once we really figure out what we're spending our money on. But at the end of the day, it helps us down the road to where we can get to a place where we're not surviving, like we're just living, you know. Yeah, coming out of that trying to like survive mode, you know, because that don't feel
Mhm.
good at all, you know. But just
Yep.
being able to live, and you know, I think that that's ultimately like That's one of my desires. Like, you know, not thinking like that. But
Mm-hmm.
it does take time, and it's like a constant battle. You go back and forth, just like with anything. If you want to lose weight, you start off real good, you might slip up, get back on track, you know. You see results, you get excited, you know.
Right.
You flip up, start back, you know.
Like,
It's just
I lost 15 pounds. Let me go get a hamburger.
right. It's my cheat day.
Yeah, I got space.
Yeah. So that's our topics, what we have for you guys today, y'all.
Yeah, we talked about a
This
lot.
was good.
We talked
What
about
you
a
say? We
lot.
did talk about a lot.
Yes. Oh, that's cute. Am I frozen? Yeah, I'm frozen.
Can you see it?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, am I frozen? I stopped hearing. Okay.
I can see you.
So, okay. So yeah, this is the end of our show. Don't forget to follow us at It's the Meetup on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Bye. And we will see y'all next week. Oh, let's not forget about this. So, I mean, Julia usually does this part, but I'll do it this week. Right? Okay, so
Yes.
every week from week to week, we want to hear your achievements. We want to celebrate you. We want to celebrate us. So a comment in the comment section, something that you're happy about. It could be the smallest thing or the biggest thing, something that happened to you, something that you're appreciative of this week. Um, Something you're just happy about, like, and you're just happy that you did it, that it happened, that it's happening. Say that in the comments. Me, I'm just happy to be here because I made it. I made it from last week to this week. I made it from the last hour to this hour. So I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah, me too. Listen, I'm happy to be back here. Like us meeting up. I really enjoy doing this, and I'm excited about our show, what we have going. I'm excited for everybody that tune in with us every time that we come on here. So yeah, I am. I'm definitely happy to be here. Listen, I didn't let life get the best of me.
Life is life, and
Right, life is life, and we're gonna keep living it, and we're gonna keep navigating through this thing. So yeah, so I'm excited to be back on this show with you guys, talking to you guys.
so that's it. We should play. I mean, we can't play it because of obvious reasons, but every time I think I see this part in the "You Did It," I think of Tiana Taylor song, "Baby Girl, You Made It."
Oh yeah.
I would like for that to play in the background, but you know,
Right. Maybe
license.
we could try the instrumental, but I don't know. The instrumental might get us too, because we be using instrumental. Baby, they trying to get us.
Yeah, y'all ain't see our intro today.
Right. They trying to get us for our instrumental that we got for free. Trying to say copyright. Baby, get off our page. Shoot. All right. But we love y'all. Y'all have a great night.
Peace.
See y'all next week.